Friday, everybody. October 8th already. I think it's a long weekend, right?
Yes.
For some, you know. Okay.
All right, everyone. Welcome once again to the Manufacturing Success Series. It is Friday. It is our time to get going, and we are ready to go today. So our show today is going to be centered around just celebrating Manufacturing Month and talking to some of the people in manufacturing. We'll have some guests come up maybe, but we've got a special guest with us today. It's some people from Gen Alpha Technologies. I'm going to turn it over to Kurt, and we're going to get started. We're live on LinkedIn too. So if anyone's live on LinkedIn, make sure to drop the comments in, questions or anything like that. And if you want to join the conversation, get over here to Remo and we can get you on stage maybe a little bit later.
Absolutely. So guys, happy Friday. It is a wonderful, amazing weekend here, beautiful fall. And we are blessed with our incredible guests from Gen Alpha Technologies. Hello team. How are we today?
We're wonderful.
Great
to see you.
So I want to do a quick introduction. So we have our dear beloved Chris, who we love with all of our heart. We have Bob, and we have Annabelle. And so Chris, if you don't mind, I know you love when I do this. I'm going to talk about you for a second. You know where I stand, right? And while I'm doing that, I'm dropping all three of your LinkedIn profiles in the chat box. But Chris is our dear friend, our beloved. She's a veteran. We love her dearly. She's an e-commerce guru, just a manufacturing advocate, and just fierce leader. Chris, I found a couple of quotes on you that I want to share with the team. I don't know if Bob and Annabelle will agree with you.
Oh, boy.
You guys, if you look on Chris's LinkedIn profile, here's a few things what people say about our dear friend, Chris Harrington. Thankful to have you as a leader, authentic, dynamic, first team leader, consummate professional, in-depth management, strong sense of business, excellent manager, love working for Chris. So Chris, you are just such, man, I am so honored and privileged that I came into your world. And I'm not making those comments up, guys. You can go to Chris's LinkedIn profile, check it out. But Chris is the president of Gen Alpha Technologies, an incredible e-commerce firm helping manufacturers nationwide. Chris, I want to turn it over to you. Could you please let's introduce your teammates here and let's see what's going on under the hood at Gen Alpha.
Yeah, thank you. I have to say that I've been blessed to work with this team for a very long time. So come on. I happen to be the youngest just by months, I think, from Annabelle. So I'll just put that out there. I might have more gray hair, but yeah, this is the exciting team. We've got a bunch of chemistries you can imagine over here at Gen Alpha Technologies. We all work together at Bucyrus back in our manufacturing days. So Bucyrus International was a manufacturer of mining equipment, essentially. And we were acquired by Caterpillar later in our careers. And then, so we all shifted to Caterpillar. So we all had that experience of working for Caterpillar together. But when we really formed Gen Alpha, it was with a desire to ease the process of doing business with a manufacturer. We truly believed there was a better way of doing business and making it easier for customers. So that's kind of what united us in the venture that we are in today and have been in for 10 years. So we are celebrating our 10-year anniversary. And let me share with you a little bit about both of these
10 years
who I get to call my loving employees that I work alongside. So Bob Zastro, Bob actually interviewed me at Bucyrus International when I went through 6 interviews to get my job at Bucyrus. He was one that I remember. I don't know if Bob asked me a question. I know that he explained to me how Bucyrus worked. He drew me a map. He told me how things worked across all of our different subsidiaries. He shared with me challenges, and actually I learned a ton from him that day, just in an interview. And I have been learning from him ever since, I can tell you that. So he is our leader of business development, the VP of business development, and he works hand in hand with our sales team, our engineering team, our product team, and our customer success team to ensure that we're delivering on any commitments we have to customers. So that's where Bob fits. Thank you, Bob.
Awesome.
Well, round of applause for Bob. Well done, Bob. Man, and what a great, and you know what? And I was checking out your LinkedIn profiles, and Annabelle, I saw that you and Chris had a history going back pre-Gen Alpha. So this is awesome to see that, and it's all about the people that you work with. And it doesn't matter the company. You guys are tagging along with each other, and that is awesome. So keep it going.
All right. So Annabelle is recently promoted to our VP of Customer Success and Product. So this is, I mentioned that, definitely something that has been earned for her. She's been leading our product development strategy and everything related to communicating with our engineering team, listening to our customers, researching what's new and important out there, and then bringing those ideas and organizing them in a fashion so that we can deliver them to our customers with the least amount of pain, which ultimately deliver frictionless experiences for our manufacturing customers. So, she's going to be moving from not only owning our product side, but also our customer success team. So that team is responsible for, again, ensuring the success of manufacturers using our platform. So again, for me, it's a personal delight to work with these people. It makes my job easier. I know I don't have to be the smartest one in the room because there are smarter people in the room. So, I'll really be listening to their answers to your questions today.
That is awesome.
That's a bit about us.
That's awesome. And you know what, Chris, I love that line. And I say, hey, unless we're playing poker, I never want to be the smartest guy in the room, right? So that's I love your strategy there. So let's just dig right in. And we're here to celebrate Manufacturing Month. And we're all passionate about manufacturing. So I'm going to put this out to all three of you. Let's talk about what are you hearing on the streets? What's going on in manufacturing right now? We're kind of like in this mid-post COVID. Are we coming out? Are we coming back in? What are you hearing on the streets with manufacturing right now?
You want to start with that one, with your ideas?
Yeah. So the one thing that we're hearing, whether it's our customer or a friend or anybody, is how do the struggle with availability and product availability and the challenge that it brings into the supply chain. Either they're struggling with raw material or struggling with communicating with their customer for the next availability in product. It impacts everybody. It impacts engineering, so they can figure it out. That product I don't have available, can I replace it with something else? So the commonality of product and how they can change it. So having a BOM, having visibility of what's in their machine is very important. And that's some of the thing that is important to us as well. Not being dependent on making phone call or knowledge, but having it visible and available. The next thing is, we don't have the product in our shelves. We are waiting for our provider to either give us the raw material or the product itself. And how can we share that information down the road to the supply chain so it doesn't impact our customer, doesn't impact all the people down the road. So those are the really two big pieces that we keep on hearing over and over and over, and what are the solutions that we can provide for that.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. All right. How about Bob? What are you hearing on the streets? You're the business development guy, so you're right in the trenches, hanging out with folks. What are you hearing out there?
Well, it's funny because a big part of it was similar to something that was going on 15, 20 years ago. It is related to continuing to pass on knowledge, and especially tribal knowledge. From the people who truly understand their own products and how it's built and manufactured and engineered. How can you get that on to the next group? What can they carry that into the future?
Yeah.
It's a huge challenge. Part of it was one of the reasons we kind of helped form Gen Alpha. When we were at Bucyrus, we had some big successes, and we were acquiring different companies. And we learned along the path that they all had the same challenges, and that is definitely one of them. Not only how do you get it transmitted to that next group of people internally, but probably more importantly, how do you make it available for your customers and your service people and everybody else to utilize on an ongoing basis? So you don't have to call and get a hold of that one person who knows. How do you transmit that knowledge forward and out into the customer's hands?
Right. Man, that is so good. That is such a critical topic right there. If you guys don't mind, let's dig a little deeper into that, and not for anybody else out there, just for me. How about that, Chris?
Sure.
And the reason being, Dave and I had the honor and privilege. We interviewed the president of the National Tooling and Machining Association this morning, and Roger Atkins, amazing guy, lifetime, manufacturing guy, super passionate and on U.S. manufacturing. And we were talking about, the generation shift and so on and so forth. I love what you're saying, Bob. Let's take it a little bit further. Can you share the tactics and strategies that you guys are using? Any success stories that you're seeing? What, like, transferring that legacy information?
Okay. Well, that's a big part of what Gen Alpha is and does, is to try and transmit things that are, engineering based or even marketing based, sales based information to make it easily accessible and digestible for people who are not necessarily technical as well. That's a big part of it. Only a portion of the people that are trying to communicate with truly understand the products. You want to make it very seamless, intuitive, and visual. I guess that's a big part of what we're trying to do as well. It's not just written down. It is a visual representation of things. So a big focus from the manufacturing side of things is keeping that equipment operating. And how do you find the right parts to keep it operating?
Right.
How do you do that without necessarily understanding that?
Yeah.
You might be a highly trained service technician.
Right.
Well, but can you go online, open up a tool, our tool, hopefully, and be able to navigate seamlessly and see a visualization, a 2D drawing, a 3D drawing, appropriate visual that you can have the part that you need in your hand and you can compare it to something that you can see on the screen. We have that going out mobilely responsive design, so you can see it on a phone or an iPad as opposed to just on your laptop or your desktop in your office. So you can be out in the field doing that. So we're trying to think of all those different applications.
Right.
Yeah, and I have some real practical experience that I can share there, because I remember, when I came into Bucyrus, it was probably 2.5 years before I ever saw our equipment actually operating, right? So I've been working in the business, I've been talking to customers in the business, I've been setting strategies in the business, but you couldn't assemble a full machine in our factory because it was so big. It went out in 27 containers and then got assembled in the field. So it wasn't until I personally visited a mine and got out there and saw the equipment that I could fully visually understand.
Wow.
Now imagine all of these leaders and organizations are leaving with this tribal knowledge, all that experience. Many people need training, and it's both in the manufacturing company, so internal to manufacturers, but it's external to customers. There's a lot of procurement buyers who never even look at something. But when you offer a digital tool, like what Gen Alpha does, but lots of other companies have digital opportunities as well, with the ability to, if I would have had access to a full bill of material with 2D and 3D drawings to go into assembly when a customer was asking about something, imagine what would have triggered in my brain to help me understand things quicker and have a more intelligent conversation with the customer I was talking to, right? So imagine customer service teams who are coming in with, they just got out of college, we all want them in our businesses, but they don't know the equipment. But if you arm them with the tools where if they're taking a phone call from a customer, because yes, that still happens today, and that customer has some questions, you both can be online together looking at the machinery and talking through the problem, so that if you have to transfer that call to somebody in technical service to assist, your level of understanding and communication is that much better. And that's what's going to be required as these baby boomers exit the industry. I think I read something that there are 44 million baby boomers still in the workforce today. But by 2024, that age group is going to be 60 to 78. So there's going to be this mass exodus of information, the longevity, the culture, some of the things. I think that is both a challenge for companies, but it's also a huge opportunity.
No, yeah.
Because we all know when a new generation comes in, or when you solve these problems, there is a shift that takes place, and that's what becomes really exciting, right? Is what's going to happen in this shift when this new diverse group of people enter the workforce, specifically in manufacturing. What are things going to look like?
Yeah.
In just 5 years when we're talking, right?
Oh,
Exactly, because Kurt, like when we were talking with Roger Atkins this morning from the NTMA, he brought this up too about getting the younger people into manufacturing, and how some of the younger business owners that he works with in the association just think about their business differently, and think about philanthropy. I can't even say the word right now.
philanthropic. Yeah.
There's philanthropic
Yep.
concerns and doing this stuff. But when you think about that, their digital influence, growing up with digital as much as they did, whereas us that were a couple years older than them didn't. This is going to really be something. And
This is so man, this is so powerful.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, like we got to run a little deeper. So and he gave an example. It was a machine shop that I know. You know, grandfather had a business for years.
Yeah.
His son took it over, and he's he's on LinkedIn, very aggressive, doing all sorts of fun things. And again, when we think about that manufacturer, you know, think of the small guys with, you know, 5, 10, 15 employees, and they had Annabelle on the team or Bob on the team. And boy, Annabelle had everything. She knows everything inside. And boy, we rely on Annabelle. But boy, when Annabelle's on vacation, or she decides like, hey, you know what, I'm not going to be here anymore. Now, what a tremendous vulnerability. And you guys are erasing such a massive challenge, a massive vulnerability, and giving folks such a competitive advantage. And it doesn't need to be hard. Like, it doesn't need to be hard. You're actually making their lives easy, right? You're making their lives so much easier, you know?
But I think we've been, the word out there is transformation.
Transformation, yeah.
Yeah, it's truly that, because the movement to an online visibility forces the business to think differently and to put information available to everybody. And this is where you go to the person that's done it forever and ask those questions. Why are you doing this way? Why and how, and why not that way? Oh, we are not doing it this way because it caused us problem down the road with those elements. But by asking those, then you take the best or process, put it online. So whether it's how do you calculate freight, or why are you putting the assembly that way, or whatever it is, and you take that knowledge and put it online, available to everybody in a simple way. So the repetitive and simplicity is available, and then the complexity still reside and still requires human to be able to answer the question.
Man, I absolutely love that. I had the honor and privilege yesterday. I did a live workshop. It was great being in person, and it was at a university nearby me, the Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership. And I was going around the room asking all these entrepreneurs, been in business for 20, 30 years, wonderful manufacturers, and they were consistently saying, you know, I asked every single one of them, what's the key to success? What's been your key to success for longevity? And over and over, the theme was focusing on the customer, making it easy for them. And I think sometimes, I don't know if, you know, sometimes I don't say we sabotage ourselves, but we want to make it easy for our customers. But sometimes we make it easy for ourselves, but we step over ourselves.
Yeah.
I absolutely love what you're saying, because now if we could flip the script, let's look internally. Let's take care of ourselves. We want to take care of our customers. But what I hear what you guys are doing, let's take care of ourselves internally. Let's make our lives easier. So then when somebody does go off into the sunset, or somebody moves on, I'm going to show my age, Damon. Do you remember this TV show that we grew up on called Happy Days?
I do.
Happy Days. And I'm bringing that up because our dear friends are in Wisconsin. I remember and you remember Fonzie would like walk up to the jukebox and he'd tap it and it'd kick on, right? How many manufacturers have a Fonzie internally and walks up to a machine?
Oh yeah.
They know exactly what screw to turn, what knob to hit. They do the Fonzie punch, And for any of you young people out there, just you have to Google what Happy Days or whatever.
Yeah.
But think of those legacy, Joe on the shop floor, Dan Bigger on the shop floor. He knows how to fix it. He's fixed it for 30 years. Now Joe's going to move on into the sunset. Now what do? Well, now thanks to Gen Alpha, we don't have to worry about Fonzie leaving us, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
Right. That's right.
You guys are cooler than Fonz, Chris. How
Is there anything cooler than Fonz? Come on.
I think Aaron, you're too young to know what we're talking about, right? So anyway, let's talk a little bit more about that. So Annabelle, you talked about the digital transformation. We're e-commerce geeks. Chris, what's my favorite word? The configurator, right? Let's talk a little bit about e-commerce. Let's get into a little bit about the configurators going on at Gen Alpha.
Where do you want to start? The configurator. Yeah.
It's interesting how one word can mean so many different things. That's where it's becoming interesting, because I could say configurator to customer A or customer B, and what comes up in their head is completely different.
Yeah.
And what it means or what it changes. And so, which configurator are you talking about?
Yeah, well, all right, so I'm glad you asked that question. Let's talk about the concept. Okay, so let's say there's a custom manufacturer out there, and, Chris, as you all know, we beat the, if anybody doesn't want to hear about e-commerce, don't come talk to me.
Yeah.
Right? But when we talk e-commerce, a lot of those custom manufacturers are like, hey, wait a minute, we're custom, we make goods for somebody else, we're not an OEM, we don't have that proprietary product. That's when we perk up and, we break out that little stop being the best kept secret theory that we have, and we want to talk configurators. So let's just talk maybe kind of broad in the surface. Look what Aaron brought. Do you see the picture of Aaron?
The Fonz.
The Fonz. Aaron, you're the best. God, I love you.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about, so Annabelle, let's say like there's a custom manufacturer out there and they're just like, I don't know what a configurator is. What are you talking about? Let's just get it let's go higher level, just kind of broad without getting into the weeds. What is a configurator in concept?
So a configurator is providing the capability to the customer to choose specifically a color or an option that is on an equipment. So the equipment could come out with a base, and then there are some elements that can be added to it based on the customer. And this is where it's really funny to go through a configurator design with a customer, because it forces them to simplify it and to go down the number of options. I think people that are on the shop floor loves that, because then it's not so many different variations, and you ended up to a limited number of shopping or production.
Yeah.
So we can start having some benefit on the shop floor and say, okay, today we're going to build model 1, and there is 5 options, and we can get to do it. But the whole configuration forces the manufacturer to make some choices in terms of, this is the base, those are the options that we're going to make available with that base, and that's the price we're going to make available.
Yeah.
And it's reduced the complexity, and ultimately, even though customer thinks that they want a billion of choices, they don't really. They want something simple where I ask you 5 questions and then I have my answer.
Yeah. And the funny thing about this is that people have been building configurators forever in the real world in manufacturing, right? You talk about anything, you look at, just take a Caterpillar payloader. There may be different size of motors, buckets, tires, things like that you can do onto it. And, what you're doing now electronically, I've had the fortune of being able to do this in businesses before, and taking a 50, 60-year-old product line and turn it into something that you configure now. And now they actually use configurators to sell it. But this on the manufacturing side, because we're talking about manufacturing month, this drives incredible efficiencies in a factory, because now I don't just let Damon decides that he wants something we've never made before because we're custom for everybody, into now you've got these 5 options, and my assembly line, my manufacturing space, whatever, is set up to make these 5 options really well. And then when you look at how this all assembles together in the final assembly, so that's it. It's amazing the amount of simplification that drives in the physical process of making that, and ultimately drives much higher customer satisfaction, because we haven't allowed them to do something that they don't even realize could probably not be what they really wanted anyway.
Right.
Well, it simplifies on the shop floor. It simplifies for the purchasing team. It simplifies for the inventory team, because I don't have to have billions of SKU. Now I have 5. It simplifies the warehouse, because they don't have to have billion of SKU to maintain. There's a bunch of them.
All the way through.
So many different things. Yeah.
We literally, when we did it, cut the we went, and we weren't that big a company. We had about 500,000 square feet of manufacturing, and we cut it in half. Manufacturing and warehouse, cut everything in half. And you know, when you do that, the scale of your savings and efficiency gains are crazy.
But and imagine how you can even market yourself.
Oh yeah.
Right. So when you go through this exercise of reducing and simplifying, now you have a clearer message that can help you market, so people can find you when they need that thing that you do. And that's true for very large manufacturers or the smallest manufacturer who is putting out widgets, but the widgets do come in a couple different shapes, a couple different forms for a couple different applications. But now they've narrowed it so that they even know how to reach the audience that's been waiting to find them all the time. And that goes to your best kept secrets.
I'm dropping the mic, man.
Yeah.
Man, we're just all singing to each other's choir right now, aren't we, man? We're just like totally geeking out on a configurator conversation. Chris, you just like a dream come true of mine, right? Man, I just love this. And you know what? And we're not stopping. Let's take it even further, okay? I want to keep this going. And Bob, I'd love to hear your insight as well. On the configurator, Damon, like I just showed you, so I have a company that works closely on a configurator. By being a custom job shop, you know, we're going to be everything to everybody. What do we become? We're nothing no one. You know, jack of all trades, master of none. And about exactly what you're saying, by narrowing it down, you know, let's just recap. Purchasing, you put everything in your power to create a competitive advantage, not trying to be everything to everybody. We had to pick a cause. You know, there might be that naysayer or negative Nancy. It's like, hey, but what about this job? What about this job? Well, you know what? They can still submit a drawing for those other outside jobs that fall out of our configurator. But let's live in our configurator from a marketing standpoint. Now we have an SEO strategy. Now we have a keyword strategy. Now we have a content strategy. And now we're creating such a competitive advantage, because now our ideal customer, Damon, we call them our soulmates, they're going to hang on our website and use our configurator, and they're not going somewhere else. Bob, I'd love for you to chime in. What are you hearing, or what are you talking about with configurators with your clients?
I mean, you touched on all the important points. The one other thing I could probably emphasize is, as you're going in to utilize the configurator, the way it shows to that end customer, the choices that they make, which ultimately end up configuring the end product that they get, they all make sense to them. I want this many horsepower. I want this much of a length. I want this, you know, color's not that important, but whatever it might be.
It could be a bit wider, right.
As they're making those choices, they're reinforcing in their own mind that, yes, this is going to supply everything I need.
Yeah.
To fulfill what I need to take care of the ultimate job that needs to be done.
Right.
And you can align that in a very easy to utilize, logical fashion that you take them down the path. So again, right from the beginning, they're very happy, because they're reinforcing the steps that they already had in their mind all the way through the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. And I don't know if I finished my thought. Damon, I showed you that lead last week. This little tiny custom manufacturer, 20,000 units for SpaceX. You know, here's this little hole in the wall, 30-person manufacturer. And because they're attacking a specific keyword strategy, because they're living with their configurator, now they're opening up the door to like Lockheed Martin, major Fortune, not even 500, 100 companies. And so I love this direction. So I know, and we could go all day.
And
Damon, go ahead.
One other thing, though, too, we're all talking about configurators now, but what is the hot topic that every manufacturer is talking about now? I can't hire people. I can't hire people that are skilled, right? So we're talking about a configurator, something like the Gen Alpha system to make your
E-commerce,
customer
right.
service people to build that tribal knowledge into your system. So your customer service people and everybody through your distribution chain will get that knowledge. So it's not so critical to hire somebody that has all the experience in the world. And then when you look back, when you're doing this in the operations, it does the same thing. Now Damon is out here building. I build these 5 things. I don't build an infinite quantity of different things. I build these 5. We can make our standardization all the way through the company that allows us to hire people easier, train them better, and them to do better work.
Right. And your quality control person is in love with this configurator too, right, Annabelle?
There's so many people that are happy with it.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, we could go on and on.
Yeah.
So guys, I want to be mindful of everybody's time, and I want to get back to the table so you guys can chat. Chris, let's wrap up on e-commerce. What do you guys give me some like parting thoughts? Digital transformation 2021.
Good topic.
What are you seeing, hearing on the street with e-commerce with your manufacturers?
Yeah, I think for so long, I mentioned we've been in business for 10 years. We're celebrating our 10-year anniversary. I think for 8 years, thank you. For 8 years, we were convincing people they needed to do e-commerce.
I could agree.
I know you guys can resonate.
I know you're going to say, yeah.
Now it feels like we're getting pulled into discussions.
Yeah, you're getting pulled in.
A shift is taking place.
Right.
And one of the things we talked about before we got on today was just how important it is to get started.
Yeah.
You have to get started because these problems, I would call them your process and data challenges that exist today that you're living with. You're not really forced to attack them until you start a project like this. Some things that we already mentioned, but freight, everybody has trouble with freight, right? They don't have weights and dimensions on all their products. And in a world where if you decide to add going to direct, right? So maybe you've been selling to a distribution channel forever. Now you're going direct. So you've been selling crates of product, and now you have to sell one-off product, and you're shipping it to multiple locations, whether that be domestically here in the US or globally. You need to have freights and dimensions to get that stuff right? But you don't really attack these challenges until you get started. Sales tax challenges, having images of your products, getting good descriptions out there that help your customers, help your marketing team, help your sales team, even talk intelligently about the solutions that you offer. We're finding that you have to get started, and it is going to be an iterative process. The first e-commerce site you start with is not going to be the commerce site you end with, but you've got to start somewhere. And this is a journey. We talk about this all the time. The first thing is start doing something because your customers are begging for it. They want it. And by doing it, you'll be faced with solving some of these process challenges that probably cost you time and money already. And by getting started, you're moving in that direction of satisfying customers. And it's going to put you ahead of the competitors. And I think the brave souls, the manufacturers who have said yes, because they really are brave souls. Many of them are walking in. Nobody on their team has ever done this before. They're nervous. They're anxious. They don't want it to be a failure because then they think it's on them. It's their head, right? Well, companies like us and you guys are out there to help them be successful. Use our knowledge, our experience, our tools to help you succeed. I mean, I guess that's the first thing I can think of in response to e-commerce.
Well, phenomenal. And I love what you're saying because past 7-8 years, it was the why, right? Why should I use e-commerce?
Yeah.
Why would I please, and it was a hard convince, right?
Yeah.
Stop being the best kept secret. Past now with COVID, now the question is, hey, Chris, it went from why should I do e-commerce to, hey, Chris, how do I do e-commerce, right? Big change. I know you and I.
Why now?
I have one more question I have to ask. we've become dear close friends this past year. And so, you look at these silver linings that came out of COVID. COVID's been absolutely awful, horrendous. There are some, a lot of positive things, and, God bless everybody that's been, harmed by this, either, personally, health-wise, loss of a loved one, economically, what have you. However, there's been a lot of silver linings that have come out. I find that you yourself, Gen Alpha, extremely intentional with your digital transformation from a messaging, communication. You as a president of company, you are relentless. You're on LinkedIn. You're on all sorts of forums. Our dear friend Sam Gupta, Clubhouse. When did you make that digital transformation of like, I'm going to be intentional? Was this well before COVID? Or was this more of a recent thing? Share quickly your story.
Yeah, and I will say that even I have been dragged along, right? That this is not a comfortable space for me. Extroverting all the time, I call it. I don't know that I just used that earlier today with her, but we made it a goal in 2020 at the start of the year that we were going to start marketing ourselves and learn how to do it, so that we could also teach the manufacturers we work with how to do it.
Yeah.
It became intentional. We had goals behind it. We measure it. We report out on it monthly. We have goals on number of posts we make in LinkedIn, number of blog posts we commit, how many speaking events I'm a part of. This counts towards a goal, right? So if you don't have the goals, it doesn't move you into that uncomfortable space of what solving the things you don't know. So we became intentional before COVID. Thank God we did, because COVID hit and now we were all remote and we had to figure out new ways of doing things. So it kind of put us in a perfect position. So I would say I'm about 18 months in individually doing more, but as a team, the contribution from our team actually hiring marketing people. I will tell you, for 8 years, Gen Alpha did not have marketing people. We thought we could grow word of mouth. Well, I can tell all of you, it doesn't work that way. It's a nice way. But it is not the only way you're going to grow, and it's not actually going to grow fast, especially when there's so many other tools that are available to you. So this has been a learning curve for us. We're manufacturers at heart. We thought manufacturing marketing was create a brochure and show up at a trade show. That's right. So we've had to learn this too. And we're going. I love it. But the education is helping our customers as well.
Yeah,
that is awesome. And I'll tell you, you are such an inspiration. We adore you. We adore our relationship with Gen Alpha. We appreciate all of the support that you give. We've been doing our trainings, and you and your team are a big support for us. We had a great time at our webinar a few weeks ago with you. And so we worship you, Chris, Bob, and man, you just had me at hello, Chris, and it's just been a love affair ever since. So, guys, I want to thank you for what you do for manufacturers. What we want to do now, let's turn this into. We have a small, intimate group today. Let's turn this into a little party. I know a lot of you guys go to Sam's happy hour. We're gonna have our own little happy hour. Let's bring Aaron up stage, man. Let's bring Aaron, let's get Dan Bigger up here. We got
all right. We're gonna bring some people up now. We're coming on and on. Let's bring Aaron up first.
Bring you guys up, and what we'd like to do is let's just what are we hearing on the streets for e-commerce? Maybe we'll add just it might be a Gen Alpha love fest. Aaron, what do you love about Gen Alpha?
Where do I begin?
Awesome.
You know that Chris she's been such a good friend and an inspiration for me. I love people that are what you might call a jumble of contradictions, only in terms of where you might stereotype someone and think, everybody in manufacturers this way, everybody that does this. She has a farm. She's traveled the world. She loves manufacturing. Right. She has a deep knowledge of technology. It's just not these things.
Right now.
It's just not all those things that you would immediately, assume about a person, and it's just joyful. I love it.
Yeah.
So, and you asked me about Gen Alpha. What that tells me about Gen Alpha is that it's a company that respects the work that people do. They're not just looking for cookie cutter, like, oh, you fit the mold or whatever. They're like, you're a strong individual that can represent us well. And that speaks well for Gen Alpha as a company, which then, of course, tells you that they must have an excellent product and that all of the team has those attributes. So I just couldn't be a bigger fan.
Absolutely. Man, we're raving. Aaron, God, you're just a ball of energy, aren't you? Don't you
So,
Aaron?
what are you excited about in manufacturing, Aaron? You work with manufacturers and other companies, helping them with their web solutions, as far as the website, the integrations with all the e-commerce. So what are you guys seeing in manufacturing that's really got you excited?
Well, I feel like Chris and I had a great conversation recently, and it's sort of like the horizon part that's exciting. And, I don't want to put things off, but like some really cool stuff is coming down the line in terms of just digital transformation, cultural change, and just re-embracing manufacturing as like central and core to the American experience in a new and modern way that just feels really revitalizing and inspiring. And that totally excites me. And that's where digital is really going to have a part to play. And I just think, cool.
Oh my God, Damon, you're recording this, aren't you?
This hits me,
Oh my God, I can't believe that. I couldn't write fast enough. I'm Aaron, I'm old and slow. I just couldn't, man. Awesome
dude, stuff.
That was
awesome.
Every time Aaron speaks, it's like that.
I can't believe we do this on a day. We must have been like really good people in a previous life, because like to sit here with this crowd.
Yeah.
Aaron, thank you. Who else oh my God, now we got Dan.
Yeah, you got Dan up here.
I'm 52. My heart can't handle this.
Yeah.
I'm bigger in the house. Look at he's probably got the ocean behind him. Look at
that
guy.
It's that way.
There we go.
Dan Bigger, happy Friday, happy manufacturing month, my friend. Welcome to the stage. What's going on in your world in manufacturing?
It's high time in manufacturing. It's the best time to be in manufacturing.
Best time ever.
Yeah, I've done cold outreach for years, and I'm getting more response daily than I have, and it's amazing.
Nice.
Dude, you are a fierce advocate. You are everywhere. If anybody doesn't know his Twitter chat group on Thursdays, Aaron, I know, like, man, you were killing me yesterday, by the way. You're active on the Twitter group. I mean, look what you've done, and you know what? You're too modest because you never take credit. And one of these days I need you to take credit, but you do an awesome job. Just like Chris is a great leader, bringing a great team together at Gen Alpha. You've collected an amazing group of manufacturers nationwide that get together on Twitter of all places.
Worldwide.
Thursday. Worldwide. Thank you. Thanks for, absolutely. Worldwide. Talk about that, man. How did that thing get going?
We copied a group out of the UK. Actually, we cheated.
I love it.
Everything from America comes from the UK, right?
I love it.
I don't take credit for anything. I'm surrounded by a bunch of good people, and Kirsten and Jen Wegman helped get us started, and Ruby now, and Julie Basello. It's a group effort. We could not do it by ourselves. Yeah. So how we do it all the time, I have no idea.
I tell you, you are a huge advocate for U.S. manufacturing, up and down for workforce development, marketing. Dude, I don't know if your ears are ringing because we do training. Damon and I are doing training constantly. You're like, you've set the bar. Like, constantly. Well, you got to be like Dan Bigger.
Yeah.
You got to do things like Dan Bigger. I did a workshop yesterday. I'm like, here's my friend Dan Bigger. You got to do marketing like Dan Bigger. So,
and nobody does it. LinkedIn tells me all the time, nobody does it the way because in the metrics that I see, nobody's doing it.
This is the thing that I keep telling people, and what Kurt is talking about is when we're talking to manufacturers, like, LinkedIn. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. Go look at Dan Bigger, because Dan is selling the kind of things that you need to look at, because it's not like you're selling something that's easy, just a $10 product. You're selling like most manufacturers are, where you have a service, or you've got something that's like an aerospace kind of component or something with a long lead time. You got to find the right people. You got to do what you're doing, and you're using it so effectively. And that's the thing we do. And we kid around with you here today, but seriously, you're setting the groundwork for the future of how people use something like a LinkedIn to be able to really sell manufacturing services and more technical products.
Well, two things about that. I hated social media before I started. I hated it. My wife was on Facebook constantly, and it was just ridiculous. And the whole Facebook notion I couldn't stand. And then I got hired at CVT, and I jumped in, and I knew it needed to be done. And it took off. I mean, I got the CVT page up over 10,000 followers on Twitter. And I'm doing the same now with my personal brand, and I'm trying to build up our company brands. But it's as much as I'm selling a product, I'm selling me. I'm selling what I do. I'm selling what I'm, if I'm up at, Kurt sees me up at 4 a.m. So
that's just a normal time of day, isn't it? It's ready to go.
Hey, Dan. Yeah, Dan puts in half days. He just like 4 a.m. until 6 in the evening. 4 a.m. half days. So
it's 5 until sports are over.
Well, Dan, the thing is, like you're an amazing father. Respect you as we've gotten together, and man, I miss you, dude. You moved south on me, but you're just a great advocate. Damon, why we're flattering Dan and Chris and Bob and Annabelle and Aaron, let's bring Gal, get Dave up here.
I did. I tried. She must not be ready to camera Dave? Ready. Oh, there she is.
There she is. Now it's party. But Dan, thank you for everything you're doing. And I know, Gail, let's talk about. So you have a couple panels going on.
Let's talk about those.
Look at this manufacturing party right now.
Yes. Well, I'm super excited because Damon and Dan, that's perfect for talk about at the panel next week because hold on. We'll be having this first panel we had last week had trade commissioners, and we had Ray Zaganto, the manufacturing unicorn.
The unicorn.
Hey, I've got my trailblazers.
Can you hold on a minute? My son, can I come back? My son is at.
Yes, you can.
Report. So hold on.
All right, I'll take Miguel off for now. But no, and really seriously though, we are going to run out of time here because we go until 11:30 or my time, whatever time it is your time there. I can't think now. It's 2:30 or whatever that is. But so we will make sure we're done there because Dan is our clock watcher. We got to get done on the right time because if everyone's been here a couple times,
I'm worried about things starting on time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he's the 132 watchdog, man.
Yeah.
He doesn't care how long we go, Damon. He just we could go till midnight. He just wants us starting on time.
Starting on time.
Yeah, right? See, that all goes back when I was a kid. My mother was late for everything, and I despise being late.
Oh yeah. So embarrassing when you're late, right?
I got a reason for everything I do. There's a simple solution.
Awesome.
All right, so Chris, Dan is a great advocate for manufacturing, custom manufacturing. Let's talk a little bit. And I know, Dan, we have a lot of e-commerce conversations. Dude, love your brother. You read Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. Are there e-commerce opportunities for custom manufacturers? Dan, do you see things any differently? Or any advice for the team at Gen Alpha? How can they speak to a custom manufacturer on those e-commerce opportunities? And for my dear friend Aaron.
We just got into it, actually.
Oh, dude.
Nice.
I have a weak heart, man. I don't know if I can take this.
We're doing, we do. We're custom profile extrusion, but we're also big into tubing, and we're starting to e-commerce with our plastic medical tubing and other tubing. And I found some other industries that we could go e-commerce with, so it's just a matter of time before we get them all up.
Nice.
How about when you hear me getting all giddy and excited about configurators? That's mine and Chris' little bond. Do you see whether you're in your previous jobs, your current company you're with now, do you see configurators as a prominent tool? Do you see them in other companies, or what's your take on configurators?
You just gotta get started. That's the biggest sell. I mean, it's selling into the company to get people to do anything. Most people are just afraid of everything and they don't want to do it. So the people that actually get off their butts and go do it have a huge advantage over everybody else.
Yeah. That is a phenomenal point. So I'm trying to keep bringing this up. I did this fun little workshop yesterday, Damon. Man, I had a good time. I had all sorts of fun. I don't even know if the people in the audience had fun. I had a riot. So my new shtick now is I talk about, especially us men, ladies, you're going to attest to this. how big are our egos? How fragile and delicate they're, we're about this, right? Aaron, you know what I'm right? We're big, tough guys. We're about this fragile, right? Guys, Dan, Damon, how do you guys like asking for directions? Bob, I hate asking for directions. Why? You look like, oh, I'm going to look like a fool, right? Guys don't want to look dumb. And Dan, I absolutely love what you're saying, because my preach yesterday at my workshop was like, make your website as easy as humanly possible. Why? Because our soulmates, our ideal buyers, don't want to feel dumb. So let's make it feel easy. And I keep posting like Einstein. I'm like, let's make them look like Einstein, make them feel like a rock star. But I love what you're saying. And I think Aaron, Chris, Damon, myself, and our side of the world, people don't want to make that digital transformation because they don't want to look like a fool internally and be the guy that had the company spend 50 grand on a website or 20 grand on social media, or be a Dan Bigger who's crushing on LinkedIn. What if I don't crush it like Dan Bigger? Right? Dan, I think that's what you're saying, is like people don't want to look like a fool and raise their hand and say, let's make this transformation.
I have, again, I'm connected with a hell of a lot of people. And, when I first started, I tried to keep up with people, and I knew I just couldn't, because everybody has teams of people and doing what we were doing was just fine. Mm-hmm. You don't have to, you're not going to come off, first day and be GE and have, beautiful website, and right. You're not going to do it. So you got to, everything's a foundation. You got to build a foundation and go from there.
Yeah.
So team Gen Alpha, put out to any one of you. What do you like? So I love that we can have a whole episode on this of how to not feel like a fool when you make that digital transformation. How do you guys you guys are great, Sherpas, navigators, guides to help your clients make that transformation. Chris, Bob, Annabelle, any tips, advice for those folks that are a little fearful of making that transformation?
I think you need to focus on two things. It's kind of going along the same psychological path you were on. It's ease of use and confidence of choice. It's got to be easy to get there, and then when you make your choice and you hit, place the order, you got to be confident in that choice. So the information that's provided to get you to that point makes you confident. You don't leave the site. You don't go investigate something else. You have enough information at your fingertips to let you know.
Nice.
Confidence is the right thing.
Yeah.
And I would just say there's no risk, because you're adding a new channel and a new way to reaching out to your customer. So start with something simple. You don't have to launch the whole thing. You're not going to run a marathon just day one. You're going to start running a 1 mile and 2 miles. So don't build the whole thing right away. Just start simple. Just one product line, something that's no risk. And then you And by the way, Kurt, it's not only men, it's all humans. It could be wrong. And this is why video games are so popular, because every time you make a move, they tell you did right.
Yeah.
Oh, Annabelle, man, you are
awesome.
You are that man. Oh.
Awesome
guys,
stuff.
You guys have microphones in front of you, Aaron. I don't know if you can drop here, but all of you guys just, man. Oh my gosh, I'm not going to survive this weekend. If I never see you guys again, know I love you, each and every one of you. Man, I don't know if I can handle all this. Guys, we're gonna wrap up. I'm glad we did this. We have this on recording.
Yeah, it's great.
Public. We're on LinkedIn Live.
Yeah, awesome. Woo. Well, thanks so much. We are going to go back to tables here, give people a few minutes to talk, because it's been a great conversation. I love that we get to celebrate manufacturing for the entire month of October. So if you haven't already, get out and just hug your manufacturer around you, because listen, we can't do, you put whatever you got around you. They did something, they made something around you. The chair you're sitting in, the car you're driving, the computer you're using, they did it. Someone did that. They had to manufacture that stuff, so just remember that. And like we were talking today with Roger at the NTMA, they have 1,200 manufacturers. And he said, listen, if our 1,200 manufacturers stop shipping stuff for, what did he say, a week or something like that?
I think a day.
Like it was amazing the things how it would grind our economy to a halt. These people are in the background doing cool stuff, making things every day so we can live our lives. And if you're not out there and giving them a hug or high fiving or something like that, you're just missing out on some good people. So
Hug a Manufacturer Day. I'll let Damon,
We need a shirt for that, Kurt. We need a shirt.
I don't, with COVID, I don't, we'll see how that goes. But my next shirt, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Soon.
Hug a Manufacturer Day.
I'm ordering that on that configurator that I found, Damon, that t-shirt configurator, and it's going to say Hug a Manufacturer. So,
there you go.
Guys,
thanks so much.
Team Gen Alpha, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for sharing your brilliance, your passion. Dan Bigger, Aaron, love you guys. Thank you.
All right. We're dropping off live and LinkedIn.
Bye.
Thanks so much.